Graham Bandera of the Yorkshire Post put something on Twitter this morning about how good it is to wake up on a Monday morning knowing that your manager is Chris Wilder. I have to say I felt exactly the same this morning. What a fantastic appointment for Boro fans. I've been probably pretty down on our football club. Not down on the pride that I've got as a Boro fan. It's a special football club. It always will be for me and my family. Nothing's ever going to change that. It wouldn't matter if we were League Two conference. It doesn't really matter. It's my football club. But I've been a bit down on our prospects of ever really looking upwards and starting to threaten for promotion to the Premier League again in recent times, because we haven't had a right lot of money. We still don't have a right lot of money, to be honest, but we've got a manager who's proven that he can do it without a huge amount of money in Chris Wilder, and I couldn't be more delighted. And I think the guy is mustard, I think he's universally respected in the game. I mean, universally. I think even people who don't like, a gruff Yorkshireman telling people how it is, have grown to like him because they've respected the job he's done, his work, the way he goes about his work, the detail, the fact that he can mould old and new school football concepts together and make it make sense. Their performances against some of the best teams in the world, particularly in that first season of the Premier League at Sheffield United, were remarkable, but it was because they had one guy at the helm. I'm sure he would say that there was a lot of other people involved, but he was the special source that they had. He had a great link with their fans, was a fan himself, and brilliant to see him celebrating with the fans the way he did when they got promoted. People like real men, like real people, and that's exactly what Chris Wilder is. But he's not just an old school, up and at 'em manager. He's evolved. He's got a fantastic body of work. Most people now are a little bit familiar with his story, starting at Alfreton and going on to Halifax and spells at Northampton and Oxford. Were both very successful before he got to Sheffield United, and he's done it the hard way. He's managed in every league, and he's been a success in every league, because there's no doubt about it. To be awarded the League Manager of the Year in the Premier League when you're manager of Sheffield United is something very, very special. So for Boro to get him, I'm over the moon, absolutely over the moon. Neil Warnock did a good job. I did a steady job. I think that's probably the way I'd describe it. Managed to keep us up when we were in danger of getting relegated. Personally, I don't think it was all down to him. I think the players would have kept us up anyway. But we'll never know. What we do know is that he was at the helm when we stayed up, and for that I'm very grateful. Brilliant manager, brilliant career, and probably time for him to go and enjoy himself. But he's not immune to criticism. Certainly not from me. And when other teams have given us the ball and asked us to go break them down, pretty much all the time he's been manager, we've not been able to win 3, 4, 5 on the bounce, and the reason for that is not because he hasn't got the players. Of course, some of the opponents have got more money and are stronger in the Championship, and that's one of the reasons why I was realistic about what we could do. But in my opinion, it was because he wasn't flexible tactically, or didn't coach systems that allowed or that showed the players and helped the players develop into a team that could go and win in different ways. He played a certain way, and it was effective against possession-based teams particularly. Hit them on the counter, hit them where it hurts. Often possession sides are a little bit soft-centred when it comes to set pieces or direct play or getting up and at them, and any team who's susceptible to that, Neil Warnock's probably going to win football matches against. But when we played against sides who were either inferior in terms of the quality, or simply just decided to sit in a deeper block and gave us the ball and said, go on, see what you can do. If we got behind in a game, didn't seem to have the ideas, the creativity, the movement, the patterns, all of that stuff that most managers nowadays work on to some extent. If you watched Neil Warnock's teams play, they don't play out from the back. They don't. They rod it. They rod it, and no two ways about it. The number of long passes from the back four, particularly, phenomenal. And I'm not saying that's a bad tactic, because sometimes that's exactly what's needed. But you also need to be able to adapt if that isn't working, and we didn't under Neil Warnock. So, like I say, grateful for what he did, but very happy that we've now got a manager who can evolve, or has evolved with the game, and will come up with solutions to deal with different types of opponents. But I like him more because he's a proper man. He's a proper Yorkshire, gritty sod who has a bit of arsehole about him. And I think people think that means that he goes into dressing rooms and throws teacups around and pins players up against the wall and he's throwing his fists around and stuff like that. That doesn't happen these days. That's not how it works. What he does is works with his team, with his staff, to build a team unit, to build an atmosphere in a dressing room, to build a level of responsibility and a level of belief in players. He puts systems in place to get them playing the best, playing to their strengths, gives them the best chance of winning football matches, and then keeps them honest and keeps them up to their work. And this guy is the real deal. Does it mean he's guaranteed to be a success? Absolutely not, because there ain't nothing in football at the moment that's guaranteed to be a success. Everyone knows you can go into the Premier League with all the money in the world and make a right pig's ear of it. By the same token, you can go in at a club that you think you'll be able to turn around because they're at a low ebb or whatever, and for whatever reason the problems that are there are more deep-rooted than you realise. And you know what? Chris Wilder might find that at the Boro. You know, we've got a problem winning matches at home and getting the Riverside rocking, filling the Riverside. It's been a problem for years. Even when Karanka was successful, the Riverside at times has resembled a morgue in terms of atmosphere or being able to fill the seats and having belief that we're going to win football matches at home. That's a massive challenge for Chris Wilder to do. He says he wants to make it a fortress like he did Bramall Lane. That takes more than just words, and it ain't going to be easy. So I'm not saying for one moment that I think he's going to be super successful immediately. I think he lost his first four games, only got a point from the first 4 games at Sheffield United. Might even take longer with us, but he's got some half-decent players to work with. He'll probably get backed in January, and I can only say that I can't think of a better manager for Middlesbrough Football Club right now. Honestly, I would take Chris Wilder over almost anyone. I'm not going to say anyone because of course the likes of Tuchel and Klopp and Guardiola probably, but outside of the top 3 or 4, you give me a choice, I choose Chris Wilder. I think the working class people of Middlesbrough will appreciate him, and off Teesside. I think the players will appreciate him because they know that he's a winner. They know he's a winner, and they know that he improves people to make the team better. So players are selfish at times, and they want to improve and they want to get better. They want to earn more money. They want to get a move and what have you. They've got much more chance of doing that under Chris Wilder than they did under Neil Warnock. So they'll sing to his tune, and if there's 1 or 2 fall by the wayside because he rubs them up the wrong way or they rub him up the wrong way, he won't lose a moment's sleep if he knows it's right for the team. So I am very, very excited about this fella taking over our football club. I don't want to say it, I don't want to pick us out for success, but I now feel like we've got a chance. We've got a chance of getting the playoffs this year. We've got a chance against any team in the Championship. Of course, there's 2 or 3 quality footballing teams at the top, and this team is going to have to evolve and adapt and improve to be able to compete with them. But we've got an incredible manager at the helm, and I've done 1 or 2 of these videos before, and if you look back and hear what I've said, I've probably always been quite positive. Woodgate I thought was a positive appointment. Don't think it was a bad appointment even now. Warnock I probably was less positive about, to be honest. But he was the right appointment at the time. I knew he wouldn't have the longevity or the ideas long term. But we've had a succession of managers who, to be honest, have left everyone feeling a bit underwhelmed one way or another. I think Tony Pulis did a better job than people gave him credit for, but even then we all felt a bit shortchanged. I think with Woodgate it never quite happened, and so we felt shortchanged. And with Warnock, that's how it's gone recently, and I see that a lot of people have got a lot of love for him. Fair play. I respect him immensely. What an incredible career he's had, and he's a guy who you know, I know a few people who played for him, and yeah, he's a legend of the game. To be honest, there's no 2 ways about it. More promotions than anyone else in English football, so deserves his place in history. But next chapter of Middlesbrough's history is going to be with Chris Wilder at the helm, and I for one am very, very excited. Up the Boro, come on!